Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of the NFC East Roundtable, live every single Thursday at 6:15 p.m. EST. And damn, we have a show for you today. We are going to be recapping Week 4 and throwing out them previews for Week 5. Let's go on ahead and welcome in our guests, starting off with our good friend Kid Blue. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Another week of Giants football.
Yes, sir.
I'm just let's talk about it. I'm here.
Let's talk about it, man. J Tuck is in the building. What's going on, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. You know, coming off of victory Thursday. I forgot who did we play?
Yeah, I listen. It's out of my memory right now. All right. Listen, the reason why my background is different is because I put a hole in the wall during the damn game. Okay, so
hey, well, I'm glad
I had to put the sound panels in to cover it up.
Well, I'm glad the Cowboys is causing someone else frustration more than they're causing me right now. But overall, I'm feeling good, man. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Cowboys Nation? I see y'all in the chat.
What is up? And the king of the division himself, Rio. What up, dude?
I can't lie to you. I feel amazing right now. That autumn air is a lot more crisp when you're sitting at the top of the division. I'm just here to tell y'all, you are watching the soft launch of a superstar. It's Jaden Daniels' world. We're all just living in.
Oh, man, this is a beautiful thing. And guys, listen, we are working on getting yet another Eagles representative. I promise you, all Eagles fans, because I know every single panelist has some words for the quote unquote inaccurate quarterback that they would like to display to an Eagles fan on this show.
Show your face, Philadelphia.
Yeah, don't run from us, man. Right? Don't run from us. They say, bring that ass here, boy.
Hey, man.
I don't want to fix the music, man.
I promise you we will have an Eagles creator on here next week. I guarantee it. But by the way, this show is powered by BetUS, the best sports book on the face of the planet. And let me tell you what, they have the best promo on the face of the planet as well. Like I said, folks, they are matching 150% of your first deposit as long as you're using code YouTube150 when you go to their website. And they're matching 125% of your second and your third deposit moving forward. All right. This is the go-to place for all of the standard money lines, point spreads, over-unders, and even prop bets. Highly recommend you check out BetUS and utilize our code YouTube150 once you get there to take advantage of that limited time deal. I assure you, do not miss out on this opportunity. But boys, we have some games we have to discuss from Week 4. And you know what? I am very eager to hear Rio's thoughts on the absolute ass whooping that the Washington Commanders put on the Arizona Cardinals, 42-14. Holy hell. What were your thoughts on that, man? Go ahead.
Phenomenal. Like, I thought we were going to win by one game. Win by 1 point. I knew we were going to win the game because the Cardinals were coming in way too confident. I watched a list of media members, content creators, and fans of theirs looking at us like a homecoming opponent. Like, they were looking at us like JV was coming into town. And I was perplexed as to where this confidence came from. I'm looking at two teams that were 4-13 last year. And yes, Kyler missed some time, but y'all got this confidence from playing a close game versus Dan's Buffalo Bills and versus the Detroit Lions. And if you've been paying attention for the last couple of seasons, if you play Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions, you lay a real fat egg the next week. And that's what happened on Sunday. Cliff Kingsbury went back to Arizona and took a dump and rubbed testicle up that field for 60 minutes. Jaden Daniels did what he wanted all day. He finally got a turnover. He threw an interception, getting greedy early on in the game. Still didn't matter. Once again, one punt, one turnover, all scoring drives the rest of the game. 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals, the most efficient and electric offense in this league. And don't let us find out we got some defense too. The defense woke up. We kept Kyler Murray under 150 yards passing. He only had 3 rushing yards. I don't know if he had a bet with Cliff Kingsbury, like, look at me, I can stand strong in the pocket at 5'5", but it didn't work out because we found out that the law of Paladin Payne still opens up on Sundays sometime. We got our hands on Kyler. Dorrance Armstrong had a sack and a half. Should have been 2 sacks, but if you put your pinky on the quarterback while he's going down, they give you a half a sack nowadays. But we forced a turnover. We sacked the quarterback. Brian Robinson went for over 100 yards. Terry gets in the end zone again. For the 4th week in a row, we have a different leading receiver. Cliff Kingsbury is just his new young rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. 40 more yards on the ground, another rushing touchdown. That makes it through 4 weeks, 7 total touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. He's running laps around the other rookie quarterbacks, and he's playing best football in this division right now, and it feels amazing. Highest completion percentage through the first 4 weeks NFL history. You're looking at a superstar only 1 month in, #1 highest selling jersey in the league. It feels great.
Now, fun fact, he does have better stats than CJ Stroud's first 4 games from 2023 in his rookie of the year campaign in 2023. Things are high over in Washington.
One more thing before we pass it. I just wanted to let people know because I'm feeling good right now. He has 3 of the 4 rookies of the week right now. He just won rookie of the month. He won Nickelodeon MVP. I didn't even know was he won Nickelodeon MVP,
bro.
And he won FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week for this week. And last week he was NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Talk to my rookie quarterback nicely, y'all. Let's hear what they got to say.
Talk to him nicely. I love it. Kid Blue, thoughts on the Washington Commanders?
This should be your life, Kid Blue.
Of the Arizona Cardinals.
Again, I had to witness the guy who was supposed to be a Giants quarterback go out there and play amazing football against a division rival, the little brother of the division. Growing up, I hate to see it. And listen, I'm happy from this game only because of the fact that they made me some money this week. I had the over on the points. I had anytime touchdown on Marvin Harrison and also Jaden Daniels rushing touchdown. So that made me some money. I was happy with that, but man, the Arizona Cardinals fell flat. Part of the reason why I took the over is because I thought this was going to be 2 high-scoring offenses going at it, and it was just the Commanders. And it really speaks to Jaden Daniels. I think Cliff Kingsbury deserves a lot of credit as well, but it really speaks to how good Jaden Daniels is because, again, for those film watchers out there that watch all 22, you watch the offense. Just forget about Jaden Daniels. You just watch the offense, the route concepts, the reads and everything like that, and what they're asking Jaden Daniels to do. It's so simple, but these defenses cannot stop it for whatever reason because Jaden Daniels. That's all. The only conclusion I can really come up with. And he doesn't have to have 400 yards passing. I mean, he's had cool stats throughout his time so far as a rookie. I think in this game he put up 233 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. These are decent numbers. They're nothing crazy, but he still looks great while doing it. I mean, that's just the power and the magic that he's putting on the field right now. So, shout out to Jaden Daniels. Damn, man, I hate seeing it every week. I do because I was really looking forward to him. I had all the jersey edits, all the jersey stuff in my. I still have him in my gallery of Jaden Daniels in a Giants jersey, and I'll never see it.
You're looking at him like the Wolverine picture.
But right now, I think it's a real competition between Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels at Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to come down to those 2 guys. So we'll see who wins it in the end. Malik Neighbors is going to miss a game this week, unfortunately. But shout out to Jaden Daniels. He's doing his thing. No hate to him at all. It's just it's crazy how no one can stop this man. It's crazy.
And so what do you think about that, J-Tuck?
Yeah, I'm just trying to jog my memory. Didn't somebody come on this panel and say that Jaden Daniels would have a CJ Stroud type impact in Washington? And that I think that my hot take for the year would be the Washington Commanders would be a playoff team this year.
I don't recall.
I don't remember. It was me, man. But I hate to see it actually come into fruition this early, right? But the thing I will say about Jaden Daniels when I scouted him out of LSU, I think a lot of people have a misconception that he's a running quarterback, right? He's not like the quarterback for the team who doesn't have a representative with us, right? He's an actual quarterback that can go through progression. He can go through his reads. And if he needs to use his legs, he is deadly with his legs. He's not just a run first quarterback. So I think when you add that with Kingsbury, what they have in Washington with some of the weapons, Brian Robinson, I think Brian Robinson's going to be out this week, I heard. But just the weaponry, Terry McLaurin, it makes Washington a scary team. And what you're seeing is something that I yearn for in Dallas, right? You got rid of the evil ownership, got a brand new coach, completely revamp the culture, and you're seeing it already with Dan Quinn. I even posted the Washington post-game video with Dan Quinn handing, the game balls. Like, the environment just feels different. Be fully transparent. I've spoken personally with some Washington players who were former Cowboys players, and they're like, Tuck, we can just be ourselves here. Like, we can just be free. I'm just like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? but they're playing well. So you mentioned Dorrance Armstrong on the defensive side of the ball, almost having 2 sacks. They have the center in Tyler Biadasz, who's a former Cowboys player.
All in.
He's balling. So it's just like they feel revived, and this is a culture change in Washington. But not only do they have the culture change, there's excitement with the fan base. Like, salute to my guy, Tony the Closer Roberts. He calls me every damn day to talk about the Washington man. Like, bro, I don't want to hear this. But here's the scary part. They still have talent they haven't used yet with their tight end and Ben Sinnott. So Washington is going to be a problem, and it starts and ends with that quarterback that they got. I wish it would have been Drake May, but then I'd have been having the same problem in New York, because I feel like Jaden Daniels is really that damn good. He was one of my favorite draft picks in this year's class. He has had to come to the NFC East, unfortunately, but we'll handle that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge. But, salute to Rio, man. I know you feeling good. Rio, I ain't seen Rio smile like this much in years, man. You know what I'm saying? So good, I'm happy, man. But they definitely got them something special in Washington, and a lot of teams better look out, because they're going to be trouble, because they're gaining confidence as the season progresses. So,
oh man, well, guys, listen, certainly a incredible performance from the Washington Commanders, and we are going to get into their preview just later on. Make sure you smash that like button for us. The second that you do come on, it propels it out to the YouTube algorithm, where more NFC East fans can discover this absolute bloodbath that occurs every single Thursday evening. Man, we enjoy it over here. And subscribe to this channel and turn on bell notifications as we transition over to the absolutely exhilarating game that took place last Thursday Night Football between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. All right. And the Cowboys ended up winning 20-15. I'm sure you've had some time to sit with it, Kid Blue. I'm sure you've already moved on to week 5, but let's put it in the grave. Final takes on the game. Talk to us.
Yeah, man, this was I feel like I come on here every single week, every time the Giants lose, and I say this one was a heartbreaking one. This one hurt a lot. And I'm just going to say it again. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but man, this one hurt a lot. Okay. I went live for the game, and I was like, listen, we need to set a new precedent. All right. The Giants, just similar to what Rio and his Commanders are experiencing right now. They finally beat the Giants, and it was kind of an actual win. The Giants didn't have a kicker, but anyway, they're setting new standards for their team. They're kind of resetting. I wanted the same thing for the Giants. I want to say, hey, you want to be a new team. You want to, create a new culture. You got to start beating your division opponents that are not named the Washington Commanders. You got to start beating the Cowboys and the Eagles. And I feel like the Giants came so close, but they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Again, Shane Bone's defense is again a big problem, especially late in games where offenses, even if they were struggling to start or get to a good start, during the game, it was always towards the end of the game that they did anything they wanted to versus this defense. And Dak Prescott pretty much did anything he wanted to the entire game. CD Lamb was going haywire against Deontay Banks. He had one of his worst games as a professional. And yeah, it was a heartbreaking 20-15. I'd much rather lose to the Cowboys 45 to 14 or something like that than lose 20-15, because that says we came so close to beating a rival that we never beat, and we just shot ourselves in the foot constantly, again and again and again. So we try to beat the Cowboys the way the Commanders beat the Giants, and it didn't work. We tried field goal after field goal after field goal. We couldn't get into the end zone, and it didn't work. Malik Neighbors had himself another heck of a game. Unfortunately, that fourth down attempt, he suffered a concussion, so we may not see him in the next game. Daniel Jones just continues to be not the problem, but not the solution either. So it's just very stagnant at the quarterback position. And the one thing I can hang my hat on, the one thing that I'm extremely proud of this team this season is the offensive line is actually good. There's no more coping and saying, well, they can be better. Like, don't worry, they'll get there. This is an actual offensive line. They're playing actually well. Andrew Thomas handled Micah Parsons, and for the most part, everybody else on that offensive line handled the Cowboys defensive line. So I was happy with that fact, but other than that, another heartbreaking loss against the Dallas Cowboys, man. And then we're going to have to go against Seattle, and we don't have a good track record in the past couple of games versus Seattle. They have completely beat on us constantly every time we face them. So on to the next one, guys.
It's on to the next one.
On to the next one.
What do you think about that, Jay? Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm sure we all can relate. Sometimes when you're going through a slump, you need that old faithful, and then sometimes it's not the prettiest. It's nothing to brag about. It's kind of an ugly one. But that was the New York Giants last Thursday, right? They helped the Dallas Cowboys get past that slump, good old faithful slump buster and Daniel Jones. Now, I'll say this for the most part, when it comes to Dallas Cowboys defense, the low-hanging fruit was, can the Cowboys stop the run? And I think we played well versus the run. Like, granted, it was the Giants, right? But the Cowboys were able to go out there and stop the run, get some confidence. We finally had a Mozzie Smith sighting. Mozzie Smith stepped up and played well versus the Giants offensive front. So give or take, you got to take those small victories and be able to stack it. But I felt like what we saw last Thursday night was Dak Prescott was saying, bro, we're not losing this game. We're not losing to the Giants. And it was one of those games where Dak Prescott really stepped up and he was just in sync. He was surgical, doing what Dak Prescott does best, got CeeDee Lamb the ball involved earlier. But there's still a lot of things that the Dallas Cowboys need to fix, especially when it comes to our run game. Now, even though we won the game, we had a significant loss. We lost DeMarcus Lawrence, one of our edges, and we lost Micah Parsons. So, as Dano says, what did it cost you? Everything. Like, it cost us everything to get that win versus the Giants. So now we're going to be going into the Steelers this Sunday with no Micah Parsons, no DeMarcus Lawrence. Brandon Cooks is going to be out. So at the end of the day, with Washington starting to merge as well, Philly, who we'll talk about here in a second, every win in the division matters. And even though it wasn't the prettiest thing, it still was a win. And I'll tell Cowboys Nation this, if you're watching it, right? A lot of people are like, man, we should have blew them out by 40. We should have blew them out by 50. Like, we're much better than the Giants. We've done that year after year. And what has that gained us? Absolutely nothing. So sometimes you need these tough wins. You need these scratches on your face. And that was really what we saw last Thursday night. Malik Neighbors is going to be a problem. I know him and Diggs had the back and forth, but they battled out there. It was competitive nature. So you just need that to get prepared for this season and some of the opponents that we got coming up. So overall, good win in New York versus the Giants. I'll take it. But the next one, we'll probably dog walk them out the building, but overall good win from the Dallas Cowboys.
Quick question though. What was with your boy Trayvon Diggs? Was he the one that sustained a concussion, because he took credit for 115 yards on his head from Malik Neighbors? He said, I follow receivers all the time. He's like I'm one of the few cornerbacks in the NFL that follow receivers. After first of all, he didn't follow Malik Neighbors.
He doesn't.
He didn't follow Malik Neighbors. And so why is he taking credit for 115 yards that Malik Neighbors had? I don't know.
Hey, man, it's Twitter. It's Twitter. Everybody lies on Twitter a little bit. Everybody capped on Twitter just a little bit.
I think they both had a concussion. I don't know. I don't know why we take credit for that.
They both knocked each other out. Well, speaking of Trayvon Diggs, he just suffered an ankle injury, today at practice. So we'll see, how that shakes out Sunday. But
you guys barely came out of that game alive.
Yeah, we barely made it out there. But like I said, there was some good takeaways, especially with our young guys, also with our young center and Cooper Beebe going against Dexter Lawrence. Like, he didn't allow any pressure. Now, Dexter Lawrence, he whooped him. He kind of did, but at the end of the day,
they triple team the man. Come on.
I mean, sometimes
triple team Dexter.
If you got to jump and call your homeboys and jump them, hey man, as long as you don't get beat up, that's all that really matters, man. So overall, good win for the Cowboys, and hopefully they're able to stack that this Sunday versus the Steelers.
And so, what were your thoughts on that, Rio?
Life comes at you fast and life comes at you full circle. And I see it on both sides. We saw Tuck and the Cowboys guys like, y'all barely beat the Giants in week 2. Y'all escaped by the hair on your chinny chin. And then there's Kid Blue and the Giants fans who say, but y'all only beat us because we didn't have a kicker. Y'all only beat us because you scored field goals. And look at you on national TV having to kick.
We trying to be like you guys, man. We trying to be like you guys.
Exactly. We trendsetters, apparently. We're trendsetters, apparently, except y'all didn't get the dub. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys side of these things. The Giants outplayed them for most of this game. If Daniel Jones had like a lick of talent in his body, they win that football game on Thursday.
He missed on so many deep throws. Oh.
Just like Neighbors did to our defense, he was running laps around Trevon Diggs in that Dallas Cowboys defense. He did whatever he wanted. Him and Slayton had so many opportunities down the field, but Daniel Jones gets shell-shocked. That's a $40 million guy y'all got back there, man. Oh, I know y'all
not after next year. Not after next year. I'll tell you that much.
I know y'all cannot wait to get that man off your roster, but that was a good game. That felt like an NFC East game. And when people say, oh, but you won this way, when it comes to the division, throw everything out. Throw all the semantics, throw the records out, throw the score out. It gets nasty. And in this division especially, the Cowboys have been owning the Giants. The Giants came out like, ain't going to be none of that tonight. There's going to be none of that blowing us out stuff tonight. And it took Dallas a while to get going. You know, they got a connection to CeeDee Lamb at some point of the game. But as the defending champions in this division, there's nothing spooky about the Dallas Cowboys through the first month of the season. Obviously, they can catch a heater at some point. Maybe the Philadelphia Eagles, too, who are the favorites to win the division. But as we sit here through 4 weeks of the season, it looks like a winner take. It looks like this is going to go down to week 18 and anybody has a shot. It even looks like the fight that the Giants have in them, that if no one runs away with it, we can all be in this conversation when it comes to December. So that's my takeaway from watching that game, that this division is so much closer than people anticipated it early going into the season.
Oh, man.
So you're saying go to BetUS and put money on the Giants because they might sneak.
No, I'm not saying do that.
Where are we at right now? Like 15,000 right now as far as winning the division? Give that to me.
It's plus 15,000 over there, folks.
Hey, man, I might become a Daniel Jones believer for that.
We gotta be close to 10,000 at this point.
Cowboys left MetLife on the body bag game because they lost a good percentage of their roster and important players of that. Tough luck versus Pittsburgh next week because
I might to line up, man.
Tough luck indeed. But you know what, guys? As mentioned previously, we are still on the search for an Eagles representative. I have sent out about 7 DMs while the show is going on right now, my friend. But that doesn't mean we're not going to cover the Eagles, all right? And I know all of our panelists are very excited to discuss yet another routing. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 33-16. And Jalen Hurts has been in the media, and they are – I would say he is no longer their darling. Let's put it that way. Starting off with Rio, thoughts on the Buccaneers handing it to the Eagles in Tampa last Sunday?
I love kicking people when they're down. And the Philadelphia Eagles are so down right now, especially that $260 million quarterback, running back hybrid that Jalen Hurts is. He's inaccurate as hell. He is so inaccurate. This looks like pre-A.J. Brown Jalen Hurts. It's like once A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith got going, we started to see a different guy passing the ball, or did we? Or did we see a lot of dominant receivers doing dominant things, playing big boy football on the outside? The Eagles, through 4 weeks of the season, are save us, Saquon, or what are they even doing? What's the plan? What's the identity? I know they're down A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You're down your top 2 receivers, but you told all of us here that's a top receiving room in the league because you added Jahan Dotson in the offseason. You stole Jahan Dotson. You gave us a free 3rd-round pick for a guy who has 50 yards through the first month of football, despite running over 100 routes so far. Howie Roseman, we keep hearing, he keeps stealing players that have name recognition that get there and don't do anything. They are so overrated. I'm loving the downfall. It goes back to last year. They have not changed the culture there yet. Something looks wrong with their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and you're not going to cliche and platitude your way out of this one. You're not going to step up to the podium and start being a motivational speaker your way out of this, Jalen Hurts. You look like garbage right now. He's so inaccurate, and that is the 4th best quarterback in this division through a month of football. Daniel Jones is playing better than Jalen Hurts right now.
Finally.
Saquon Barkley is putting that team on his back, and even then, they find ways to forget he exists, and then he busts out another 50-yard run. I hope this cycle continues for the rest of the season. The Bucs are a good team. I watched the way we played week 1 versus the Bucs. We were more competitive than the Eagles. We were actually in it in the second half of that game. They look like they never had a chance from the opening whistle. Please keep losing. They're on bye week this week. Get your heads right, shake back, and show us something, because y'all looking overrated as hell in the light right now.
Damn. All right. And let's hear from Kid Blue on this one.
Yeah, man. This is exactly what I expected. I knew the Buccaneers were going to come back and absolutely whoop the Eagles. Once I heard that AJ Brown was still not playing and Devontae Smith was out, I knew that they weren't going to win. And this was a big eye opener for a lot of people that had Jalen Hurts in like their top 5 or top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL. And everybody would always gives this sort of rebuttal and say, what would he be without his receivers and all the pieces around him? Well, we got to see it against the Buccaneers where, they have a good defense, but you look at, it reminds me of a little bit of back when Eli used to play. There were always injuries on our wide receiving core, but it never mattered because we had Eli. We had a quarterback. We had a guy that can manage the game and continue to move the chains no matter who is taking those snaps. And we see that Jalen Hurts, he needs guys like that. He needs the AJ Brown. He needs the Devontae Smith. He's not a guy to take the team and take them to another level. Maybe in years past, but it's very, very clear in this year, Jalen Hurts is not the same as Rio said. He's extremely inaccurate. They're making a lot of mistakes offensively. It seems like an entire mess right now. And yeah, statistically, look at mostly all the statistics. Daniel Jones is a better quarterback right now, which is crazy because Daniel Jones hasn't done anything special to me in this season. He just kind of got out of the Giants' way of losing. As far as putting the blame on him, as far as Daniel Jones goes. So, the Eagles right now are in a rut. I believe. What is the record of Nick Sirianni right now in the past? 10 games or something like that, or 15 games? It's a terrible record, and it's dating back to last year. I mean, they are going down a really in a huge spiral. Nick Sirianni, a lot of people are saying that he should be fired. Jalen Hurts is now not the guy after they paid him as well. And yet it was probably an absolute godsend for them to sign Saquon Barkley because he does Saquon Barkley things. I'm a Giants fan. I know, you can have nobody on that offense, but he's going to keep trucking along and do what he does best. And he's the only reason why they even had points in this game because they were down like 24-0 at some point. And if it wasn't for Saquon Barkley's huge run coming out of halftime, I don't know if they would have had any momentum or energy to get down to the end zone. So, or even get any field goals. They were getting absolutely demolished by the Bucs. And as far as the Bucs go, I mean, they're a good team, man. I think they've established some sort of, I don't want to say rivalry, but every time they play the Eagles, it winds up being a good game. Either the Eagles destroy them or the Bucs destroy them. So I love to see it. But yeah, the Eagles are a mess right now. This NFC East is wide open. Definitely. I thought as far as how their draft went, free agency, stuff like that, I thought the Eagles were going to be a much better team. But you can see right now, Jalen Hurts isn't the same guy. They have a lot of injuries on the offense, and the coaching staff really brings them down as well. Nick Sirianni just seems like a joke at this point. So, man, I mean, we're all rejoicing right now. If there's one thing we can unite on right now with no Eagles content creator, is that the Eagles are in shambles, and we love them.
What you got on this, J Tuck?
Yeah, I agree with Kid Blue. One of my favorite movies is The Dark Knight Rises, and my favorite character, Bane, has a quote: "I wonder what will break first, your spirit or your body." And right now, Eagles fans' spirit is broken in half. And the best part about that, you're seeing the reality that a lot of us try to explain to y'all. Hey, I know you have some talent. I know you have some names. Hey, A+ draft. I love your draft. But do you have someone in the house that can actually put the pieces of the puzzle together?
Nope.
You don't. Nick
Right.
Sirianni is just a glorified mascot. You're seeing that. And Kellen Moore's play calling is so sporadic, you do not understand what's going on. And now what is happening is you have Kellen Moore, who went from Dak Prescott to Justin Herbert to Jalen Hurts, a quarterback that can't even line up under center. He can't even.
Right.
So you have to change your philosophy. So in order for Jalen Hurts to work under Kellen, he's going to have to become a cerebral quarterback and be able to play up here. I don't think that he can do that. He's extremely athletic, but also when I'm watching Jalen Hurts, he doesn't run with the same tenacity that he used to run with.
I noticed that.
His moves a little bit different.
He's very much slower.
Yeah, it's like I'm not sure if he's protected, is he hurt, or what. So if you take that away and you force Jalen Hurts to be a quarterback, things look extremely different. Now, of course, didn't have AJ Brown, didn't have Smitty, but you had Johnny Wilson out there. You went and traded for Dotson. Like, so you had enough, right? You still had Dallas Goedert, but here's the most important piece. Name who was hurt on their defense. Oh, the defense was fully healthy. You had your defensive line. You had all your Georgia Bulldogs out there. You had all your corners out there. Your defense that you spent, Brian Huff was out there. And they got dog walked again by the Tampa Bay Bucks. So it leaves a lot of Eagles fans questioning what is really going on. Right? Is it Fangio? Is it Sirianni? I saw the news articles about Jalen Hurts. Like, did we overpay him? Like, so now here comes the dark cloud and distraction. And do they have someone with the leadership to really reel things in? And then the most fun part, my dog Micah Parsons said, you know what? I'm gonna toss a little bit more, fire on the flames.
Yeah.
I mean, invite Slay onto my podcast, bro. Jump onto my podcast and let's talk about it. Now Slay goes and has comments. Now every Eagles fan is arguing with their best corner. And now there's some conflict between Slay and CJ, and they're questioning his leadership and questioning the captain. It's a huge mess. And now the Eagles are going to have to find a way to clean it up. And I think with their schedule, they got some difficult games coming up. And with the NFC East being tightened, they need to figure it out. So I'm living in luxury, watching the Eagles collapse, and I think it's going to be good for the NFC East as a whole, but they have a lot of big problems on their hand because they don't know how to fix it, and Saquon isn't enough just to fix it.
And I told him Jahan Dotson sucks, by the way. I tried to tell him
that. They don't want to listen. They love names.
CJ GJ better take Kobe's number off, because ever since he's put Kobe's number on, he's allowed one touchdown in every single game he's appeared in. So
he was the one tweeting we about to put belt to ass to the Bucks, and
does Cooper DeJean play football?
When he commits penalties, apparently, yeah.
I'm about to say, does he even play football, or does he just model the uniform on Sunday? Because that's another player. Oh, we stole because we traded with Washington. Adam Peters got y'all twice, man. He already we love to see it here, man. We love to see this downfall.
Sterling Shepard coming off the practice squad with the Bucks and putting 3 receptions for 51 yards on their first round pick's head. I love it.
Yeah,
Quinyon.
Yeah.
I think Quinyon is a bright spot for him, but overall, they have so many problems, and I just think that all the distractions going right now in Philly, it's going to get louder and louder and louder, and who's really going to fix it? I just don't think that you can turn Jalen Hurts into the quarterback. You're going to have to let him go out there, play his recess ball, and run around and throw. Like, that's just his game. Like, you can't change him. What did Jay-Z say? Can't change a player's game in the 9th inning. You can't do it now. You can't fix him now. You've already paid him. He is who he is. You can't change him. But with Kellen's offense, it's all up here. Option routes,
turnover machine,
get your turnovers right now. So here's how crazy it is right now when it comes to Jalen Hurts and turnovers. BetUS took it off the sports book. I can't even make no more money off of Jalen Hurts no more because BetUS has taken his interception.
It was a gimme for the parlay. It was a free leg.
Hey, bro, come on, BetUS. Why you gotta do your dog like that, man?
I love it.
Nah, it's like you have to work harder than that.
It was just easy money, folks. And don't worry, we are going to be previewing all games, including the Eagles game coming up. But outside of that,
they don't got one this week. They on that bye week. They got a much needed
They need that.
Get right, Philadelphia. Right before we end up diving into this, folks, I need to give another giant shout out to one of our proud sponsors, and that just so happens to be Shinesty. Say, for example, you hate swamp ass and it consistently riding up to places you don't want it to. I have the underwear for you. And look at all of these designs right here. Moisture wicking technology, tech that allows it not to ride up. And some of these designs are absolutely hysterical. Great gifts. Knock it out over on Shinesty, guys. RTS 10.
Elephant.
That shit is
Exactly.
crazy.
You
Nothing
can
but a
lie to your-
tide.
Hey, look, you can lie to your one-night stand all the way up to the last second. All right, look at that, man. This is the beautiful thing that you can do, guys.
Blitz,
Utilize
blitz.
and utilize code RTS10 for 10% off by using that link in our description. As we move on to damn week 5, boys.
Let's
all right.
go.
And things are starting to heat up within the division. And I think the game that I do want to start off with right now is our good friends, the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to be facing off against a very talented defense. I'd say super anemic offense, the Pittsburgh Steelers. J-Tuck, take it away with your preview and prediction.
Yeah, this is an old school rivalry for some of you old Cowboys fans out there going to Pittsburgh. It was going to be a fun game. I'm supposed to be in attendance, but one of my best friends said, actually, I'm going to get married this weekend. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tough matchup. You know, I think the most important piece is how are the Cowboys going to recover with all the injuries. We already talked about Micah Parsons and Marcus Lawrence, but also now you have Brandon Cooks. So now you're going to have CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of improvements in Jalen Tolbert. You're going to have Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flournoy. Y'all probably never heard of none of those people who I just listed out there trying to help, you know, Dak Prescott. So it's going to be key for the Cowboys offensively to get the ground game involved. And I'm not sure whoever our running back one is. Sometimes it's Rico. It might be Zeke. It might be Deuce. Hell, it might be me. Whoever it is needs to go out there and establish the run, because if not, you're passing 40 plus times with a bunch of improvements, and then you have TJ Watt versus a rookie left tackle, which can lead to disasters. I think
Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, it smells very barbecue-ish. Then on the defensive side of the ball, now you don't have DeMarcus Lawrence, you don't have Micah Parsons, the main two pieces that you have to worry about in our front seven. So where's the pressure going to come from? We really don't have those guys. Dan Quinn took them all to Washington. So our second layer is going to be some unproven guys. We have Marshawn Nealon, who's a rookie. We just got KJ Henry, you know, off the practice squad in Cincy, who was drafted by Washington. And you have some unknowns in Carl Lawson. So when it comes to our defensive front, it's very mad. And I know that the Steelers are going to come out there and try to run the ball, but then when they're not running the ball, how are we going to get pressure? So it's going to be important for our secondary to be able to cover. Coach Zimmer got to earn your check, you know, scheme up some stuff, maybe send some blitzes to confuse Justin Fields. But with the ground game combined with Justin Fields, Najee Harris, and the defense of the Steelers is going to be a tough matchup. But once again, if there's anyone to bet on, I'm betting on my quarterback number 4 and Dak Prescott to get the victory. Where there's a will is a way. And I think that him and CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson's going to carry us out there with the victory. But it's going to be an ugly, dirty, another scrappy game where we're going to have blood in our mouth, scratches all over our face. But we got to get out of there with Sunday with another win. So I got the Cowboys win this game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So what you got on that, Kid Blue?
Man, this one's kind of a toss-up for me. You know, J-Tuck mentioned in detail all the injuries that they have right now, and that could definitely play a big part. You look at the Steelers; they suffered their first loss against the Colts without Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco came in there and just started putting on a show. And you know, this is a Steelers team that always finds a way to win games. So I don't know if they take advantage of that in this game. I think Justin Fields is playing okay football. I'm not the biggest fan of Fields. If you look at their past couple of games, I mean, they're really not putting up big numbers at all. They're squeaking their way through these wins because the coaching staff, Mike Tomlin, just finds way to win games. So I think J-Tuck is absolutely right. This is going to be a scrappy one. This is going to be a tough one. A lot of bloody noses. And I'm going to lean Cowboys just because, like J-Tuck said, Dak and just having the more experienced quarterback there and knowing what to do in certain in games like this. I don't think Justin Fields has it in him right now to beat the Cowboys. And the Steelers right now are a good team, but like I said, they only find ways to win. They're not actually a good team. They just find ways to win. I mean, there's a thin line between that, but still, I'm going to take the Cowboys here in a very, very close one. I expect there for both defenses to play a huge part in this game.
So what you got on that, Rio?
There's nothing more I would like to see than Dallas to get caught in a defensive trap on Sunday night, because
I would love it.
This is one of the best coach teams in the league, especially on the defensive side. This is what Mike Tomlin do. He coaches and wins ugly football games. They win ugly. That is the Steel City grit. That's what they do in Pittsburgh. Blue collar, lunch pail, get some elbow grease in type of football. And Dallas is not meant to win those type of games. They're not meant to win those type of games in the trenches. They should have lost an ugly game like that last week to the New York Giants. So what they need to do is get up on Pittsburgh early. They need to force Pittsburgh to need to play them in a shutout. It's hard to say that when you got J.J. Watt on the other side of the field and a very good Pittsburgh defense, but if they get up on Pittsburgh, Justin Fields not going toe-to-toe with Rain Dakota Prescott. In primetime in Pittsburgh, it's going to be rowdy in there. And this is when superstar players take control of games. If Pittsburgh wants to have a chance in this one, TJ Watt needs to go crazy. They need to send the house after Dak. Just sell on the run. Dallas ain't got no running backs. You could put all their running backs together and they don't make one complete running back in this league right now. I got 3 running backs and a quarterback that are better than their top running back on their roster right now. You saw Jeremy McNichols on Sunday versus the Cardinals. RB3.
Boise State, baby. I love me some Jeremy McNichols, man.
No Austin Eckler, no problem. The backup comes in 9 yards a pop. 2 touchdowns, 70 yards.
All right, we get it. We got it.
I love Jeremy McNichols, man.
I think Dak Prescott, the game's in Pittsburgh. I want to pick Pittsburgh to win this game so bad, but Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, they get that connection going. They get on top, maybe 7 to 10 points. It may be too much for Justin Fields unless he takes some gargantuan leap at quarterback this week. He's kind of similar to that guy that plays in Philadelphia, but I'm going Dallas. Oh, I hate it. I'm going Dallas 24-17 in Pittsburgh with the dub, but I would love to see them lose because boy.
Oh, man. Well,
I can't do it, though. It feels dirty picking Justin Fields in primetime to outdo Dak. It don't feel right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, moving on. And so our good friend Kid Blue is anxiously awaiting his matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. After losing their first game last week, what do you got on this one, Kid Blue? Talk to us.
Oh, man. How can I muster up this one? How can I hype this one up? Listen, hearing the news that Malik Neighbors is out in this, is probably going to be out in this game. He's still going through concussion protocol. That is basically just saying all 11 players will not be available this game on offense. Like that's what it feels like, because Malik Neighbors has literally been our entire offense. He's the most targeted receiver of all time right now in his first 4 weeks or something like that. I mean, he's been targeted a huge amount of times. He's our entire offense, and not having him there is definitely a huge blow. I really have a hard time seeing the Giants winning this game. Seattle suffered a bad loss from Detroit, and I looked at somebody put a tweet. I can't find it right now, but somebody put a tweet about Seattle, how they're not the team you think they are. They're a fake 3-1 team. So and it kind of made sense, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter to me. The Giants, until they figure out their defensive situation on this bend but don't break, Shane Bowen defense, Vic Fangio style, I hate defenses like that. Keep everything in front of you and worry about getting forcing pressure when they're close to the end zone. I hate that type of defense, and it hasn't been working. The defense gets tired, and late in games, these teams just start putting up points, no matter how close the game is. Even if this is a close game, I don't have much faith going into this game. So I've got Seattle winning it, man. I got Seattle winning it. I haven't even looked at their injury report, nothing like that. I mean, it doesn't even matter to me at this point, okay? No Malik Neighbors, no team, no Giants. The Giants are not available in this game, okay? So we'll see what happens. I'm just hoping Dexter Lawrence has a great game. So that's pretty much it.
So what you got on this, J-Tuck?
It's funny. I was just texting my kids that they need to go take the dog for a walk, but I should have texted the Seattle Seahawks because they are about to dog walk the New York Giants. Like it's going to be bad. No neighbors, no chance, right? It's just it is what it is. So what everyone in the chat needs to do is go to BetUS, use the code YouTube150, 150%, and you slam every dollar on.
Put your mortgage on the Seahawks. Do it. Do it.
You might be the cash out, man. I just don't see there's a way that the Giants can win this game without Malik Neighbors. Like it would just be a huge it'd be one of the biggest upsets probably of the season. I just don't see it happening. So I think that the Seattle Seahawks defense is going to be too much. I feel like what they're going to be able to do on the ground game with Kenneth Walker, they're going to completely overpower and dominate the Giants. But I think they'll be competitive for a little bit, but ultimately Seattle Seahawks will win this game and go off with the victory. And it's in Seattle too, right? It's in Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Slam here. Hold on, man. Slam this, get your money, get your free money, and enjoy your Sunday, man. Sorry, Kid Blue. But hey, it puts you one step closer to Shadur Sanders, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, Shadur ain't coming here, bro. Dion already said it on whatever the nightcap show with Shannon Sharp. He's like, there are teams that are famous for losing and haven't done anything in years, and we ain't going there. And I was like, he's talking about the Giants for sure.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Giants, but he ain't coming here. He's gonna pull an Eli on the Giants. How about that?
Oh man!
So just wait 2 years for Arch Manning, Kid Blue. That's
I'll take Cam Ward right now. Give me Cam Ward right now. I'll take him.
Oh man, it's all right, Rio. Thoughts on Giants Seahawks?
This game is in Seattle. Neighbors isn't playing. Like, do they gotta play? Do they gotta play this Sunday? No, but there's been weirder things that happened this season, like Bo Nix throwing for 60 yards and beating Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets on Sunday.
That is weird. But it was raining.
This season is one of the strangest seasons 1 month in that I've seen. But you're not gonna see the New York Giants make it any stranger because with Neighbors out, Daniel Jones has to catapult that offense and put the team on his back in the loudest stadium in the league. My RB2 in fantasy is probably going to run for 150 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker Jr. is going to kill the New York Giants on Sunday. Yeah. My boy, Brian Robinson Jr., he's a dog, but he's slow as molasses and ran for $120 on the New York Giants. Kenneth Walker is going to march up and down the field on those guys. DK Metcalf and them may not even have to contribute. I don't see any way, but it's weird, man. The season's weird. It's going to end up looking closer than it should be. Give me 27-17 Seattle. I don't see any way the Giants win this game.
17 points without Malik Neighbors. I'll take it.
You'll take it.
Fluky shit happens. You know, y'all might get like
defensive touchdown.
Brian Burns. Yeah. Gino puts the ball in harm's way.
Jalen Hyatt sighting, man. Jalen Hyatt,
oh my God.
Does he play football? Does he still play?
Listen, as far as right now, I don't know if he's working for McDonald's right now. I don't know where he's at.
All right, man. Last game, and this is of course the red hot Washington Commanders going up against the struggling Cleveland Browns. Rio, thoughts, man?
See, everybody's saying that this is a trap game for Washington. And while I'm on my high horse sitting at the top of the division, the burgundy tinted lenses are hitting different right now. I don't think we're good enough to say words like trap game yet. I don't think we've earned the right to say trap game yet. I look at the Cleveland Browns roster. They're better than us. They have a better roster. They have an elite defense with a top 3 defensive player. And as a whole, their ecosystem, there's more chemistry. Jim Schwartz coaching their defense. Kevin Stefanski on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not looking at a 1-3 schedule. I'm not looking at the fact that Kid Blue's Giants beat them. I'm not looking at the fact that Jay Tuck and them drummed them week 1. I'm looking at them like, we got to go out and handle business. See, the home crowd hasn't seen what the polished version of this offense. They saw the infant stages versus Kid Blues team where we walked up and down the field all day, but we weren't able to punch it in the end zone. But the last 2 weeks, we've been road dogs. We went up to Cincy, we did our thing, went up to Arizona. The next day stayed the whole week in Arizona and then drummed them on Sunday. But Our home crowd hasn't seen it yet. We're moving different around town right now. They released the Jaden Daniels black jerseys today. We got people lined up at the stadium to pick them up. We're having a concert at this field again for the second time. We got Andre Day coming to perform at halftime. We're feeling different. We're moving different. And I'm picking Washington to win this game. Washington has not started 4-1 in a season in 16 years. 2008, Jim Zorn, Washington Redskins at the time, was the last time we got the 4-1. And I'm looking around the division. Washington has to make this next stretch count. After playing 2 away games straight in weeks 3 and 4, Washington does not have to get on a plane until November when we play the New York Giants. So we have a home game versus the Cleveland Browns this week. We play the Baltimore Ravens the following week, and then we come back home to play the Panthers and the Chicago Bears. We don't have to leave the DMV for 1 month. We are here. We're locked in. We need to beat this football team on Sunday. I think it's a competent enough team, but Deshaun Watson's playing some of the worst quarterback in the NFL right now. He is nothing like his former self, and we owe him for ending our season back in 2022 when Ron Rivera had no idea we could be mathematically eliminated. They're not getting Nick Chubb back this week. It's Deshaun and Amari Cooper versus the world. We got to find a way to stop the run with Jerome Ford, but I don't think good defense at all that they're going to be able to completely stymie our high-powered offense. Give me 30-20 Washington Commanders, 4-1. Once again, with sole possession in first place, seeing that Philly has no game this week. And if don't let Dallas lose and we have 2 wins up on everybody in the division, we're going to be hype as hell going into this Baltimore game next week.
Oh, man. And so avenge the Bills while you're at it. Kid Blue, thoughts on the Commanders and the Browns, man? How you doing?
My God, just you look at the trends of these two teams, Washington and the Cleveland Browns. It reminds me of that Shannon Sharp meme where he has all the food on the table. He's like, I got fried catfish, I got yams, collard greens, mac and cheese. I mean, right now the Commanders are like foaming at the mouth looking at the Cleveland Browns. This is just like another chance to up their win total and move to 4-1. And the Cleveland Browns are just not a good football team. They're worse than the Giants right now. I can confidently say that they are infinitely worse than the Giants right now. Their defense is good, but when you have a really good defense, they're really not that good if your offense can't do anything when they have the ball. So the defenses get tired. They start letting up points here and there, and the offense can't recover. So Deshaun Watson, when is the time that we're going to see Jameis Winston play? I mean, well, what's keeping Jameis Winston from being off the field? I don't understand.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know. They just don't want to pay the man or something because, Deshaun Watson getting all that money for sure, but Jesus Lord, I mean, he's terrible. He is so bad. It's a shame because you got some a really good, I would say decent roster on paper for the Browns, and they can't put it together at all. They have a decent wide receiving core. They have a decent offensive line that they're not playing well because of Deshaun Watson. So, and you look at the Commanders, man, they're on it right now. They're on fire. Like I said, they're foaming at the mouth looking at this matchup with the Cleveland Browns. Well, where's this at? This is at Cleveland or
Oh, that is at Northwest Stadium, baby. We're having another concert at halftime. We're ready to go.
Yeah, so the dogs are coming to Northwest Stadium, and it ain't gonna be good. They're gonna be hollering and crying leaving the stadium like little chihuahuas. So this is gonna be easy win for the Commanders. There's not much to say. I think Jaden Daniels is gonna do some magic versus that Cleveland. Listen, if Daniel Jones was like 17 of 19 for 85 yards at halftime versus the Cleveland Browns defense, can only imagine what Jaden Daniels is going to do against that defense at halftime. So,
yes,
I'm gonna take the Commanders to win in a lock for sure.
And the Commanders to win in a lock. And last but not least, Jay Tuck. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with everyone, right? And Commanders to win this game, go ahead and lock that. If you want to parlay it, combine that with the Seahawks, and there you go. I just feel like, overall, when you look at the talent from the Cleveland Browns, it's still there, But there's nothing more demoralizing, and trust me, as a Florida State fan, I know when you don't have a competent quarterback, and Kid Blue, you probably can relate to this too as well. It just takes the energy out of your team, because I just feel like when it comes to their defense, they still have Ward, they still have Myles Garrett, like they have a really good defense, but they know that their quarterback is just a mistake, an accident waiting to happen. With 19 sacks allowed, didn't the Giants get like 8 sacks or something like that?
The Giants got 8 sacks on his ass, and we don't even rush the quarterback that
exactly.
well.
So imagine what Dan Quinn is going to do when all he focuses on is getting pressure. Trust me, Armstrong, like those guys, Fowler, they're going to go after Deshaun Watson. And I just don't feel like he's capable. I know they have Amari Cooper and Judy, but hell, Amari Cooper is halfway in, halfway out on the trade block right now. So I know Amari Cooper, when he's frustrated, he'll shut down. I just don't see that the Commanders would lose this game. I feel like Jayden Daniels going to be able to put up points with their offense. It's going to put Deshaun Watson, the Browns, in the passing situations. Dan Quinn's defense will go out there and feast, and it's just to be an easy victory. So, yeah. But like I said, they have the talent in Cleveland.
They do.
The quarterback, I would personally, I would make a play for Jameis, even though it's not going to be much better, but you got to give them hope. You got to give the Browns hope. But like Rio said, with that contract, they're going to force Deshaun out there. They want to force Deshaun Watson out there. Well, they're going to do that. Well, we're going to fade Cleveland week after week after week and get this money.
It's time to bench Diddy Deshaun, man.
yeah. Take that.
NFL Diddy, yeah.
NFL Diddy.
NFL Diddy.
Oh my God. Well, folks,
his NFL talent was left on the massage table. That's
right.
Oh man, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the NFC East Roundtable. Fun fact, I have an Eagles representative for next week, folks.
Oh, boom.
Full time,
Just
baby.
like that.
I sent out 10 DMs, and I feel bad for everyone that agrees to it.
Sorry,
I'm running business here.
They don't got a loss this week they got to hide from, so they may show up.
Yeah,
right.
You're
Exactly.
right. They will be back.
Let's be honest, the show goes so much smoother without them. You know?
Yeah. Hey, guys, don't worry about that. We're going to be having these guys on. But listen, I want to encourage each and every single one of you that love watching the show on a regular basis to subscribe to each and every single one of their individual channels. Watch the pain of Kid Blue each and every single Thursday, Sunday,
I put
or
a hole
Monday.
in my wall last week, guys.
Yeah,
let's
look
do
at
that. I'll put another one in.
It.
Yeah,
And
give
you
me the
missed
10,000
it.
subs. I'll put another one in it.
And then definitely subscribe to J Tug and, of course, Rio. Great content all across the board over there. Let's go around the table, say our goodbyes, and we'll send these kind people off to their day. Starting off with J Tug.
Yeah, appreciate you guys as always, man. Another great show. Love rocking with you guys, and can't wait to add on our new Eagles rep. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. My YouTube channel, CFO Sports. It says Cowboys fans only, but we allow everybody to come over there. It's a good old time. But we also do a lot of NFL draft content. Got some college stuff kicking off as well. So come over there, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you all.
And so what you got, Kid Blue?
Yeah, Kid Blue RB27 on YouTube and Twitter, Instagram Kid Blue Official. Yeah, for those of you guys interested, I'm more so trying to do more NFL like centric content. We'll see what happens with that, but definitely huge Giants fan, and we do a lot of film. We go over film from opponents as well, so we kind of mix things up, not just Giants content. So yeah, that's it.
That's what you got, Rio.
Rio_Robinson91 on social media. Rio Robinson, the show's called Rambling About Washington with Rio. We keep it raw, we keep it fun, we keep it objective, and Washington's looking to get to 4-1 for the first time in 16 years, so we can get this game out of our system, be the only 4-win team in the division, and we're looking at the 1 p.m. game of the week next week at Baltimore, Lamar versus Jayden Daniels. Stupid CBS blocked the game so they couldn't flex KB's dumbass Giants from playing the Bengals on Sunday Night Football.
You think I want to be on prime time? I don't want to be on prime time. Get me out of there.
Why are they making us watch that over Lamar versus Jayden? That is
CBS won't allow it. It was a CBS.
CBS blocked
they won't allow it.
That's an atrocity, but y'all know the vibes. 4-1 coming up for the Commanders. Let's get it.
Absolutely beautiful. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the NFC East Roundtable, powered by BetUS. We will be back next Thursday, same time, same place. Until then, See you later.